Alright everyone, Shikai Hogan here, reporting for the festival. So, today we are back to Forza Horizon 4, taking a look at a brand new car that they added around 2 weeks ago. And, well, the car is a very special one because it came from the future, apparently. To be more precise, it came from 2058, which is 38 years away still. 38, 37-ish years away from now. And that's because this car is actually a collaboration between Forza Horizon 4 and a brand new game that has been played by everyone but me apparently, and that is the Cyberpunk 2077. Yeah, I don't play that game right now. I'll consider, but I don't really play it immediately, alright? So anyway, yes, that's right. This car right here does not exist in real life, unfortunately, and you can see it moving outside from this game by going to another game, which is obviously the Cyberpunk 2077. So what is this car? This car is the Quadra Turbo R V-tec from 2058, which is by the standard of real life. Basically, if we talk about real life, this car is fairly old where for the year that the game set it up for. I mean, 2077 and 2058. Yeah, this car is pretty old, about 19 years old, I guess. Either that. Yeah, it's about 19 years old. So the car is fairly old for that standard, but for the Forza Horizon 4 standard, that's still far away in the future. Really far. So, are we going to see this kind of car in the future? I cannot doubt it, to be honest, knowing how the current supercar is not looking like this at all. But we'll see about the future. It's not fated. It's decided by the designer, and hopefully the designer take a note of the older car. So, yeah, that's enough about the car introduction. I'm going to introduce about the livery as usual. Someone just ran through the field in high speed. Sorry about the distraction there. But yeah, anyway, where was I? Right, about the livery right here. Apparently, I think the future is pink. I mean, another game would decide the future is black, which I not exactly agree with that. I mean, there is some truth to it, but I disagree because it's not always dark in the future, you know. I'm pretty sure there is some hope in the future for humanity, even though I still have some doubt about it. But yeah, but for today, I decided the future is pink because why the hell not? But anyway, joking aside though, there are some serious things that I want to say here. The livery here is created for, not based on, for Cherri Saku from VirtualUniverse. I made this by myself. Yeah, I actually made this by myself, obviously, because I can share it. And who is Cherri Saku? Cherri Saku is a virtual YouTuber from VirtualUniverse, and she's the zero generation of that particular agency. And that agency is under the umbrella of the Pearl Orient production from Philippines. And I've been watching her recently, and I do talk a bit with her. So it's fun interacting with her, to be honest. I really love it. So, and also thanks to her, I actually got some help from her about the promotion stuff from time to time. I'm really grateful for her. Well, for her existence. So thank you for everyone that's make her as what she is now, and I hope she do even more in the future. And oh my god, why am I so nervous today? This is the second take. Oh, it's actually fourth at this point. If you think about that, I don't even put the take properly a few times at this point. Oh my god, you know what? We'll go with this. Whatever. That's the way I do it usually anyway. So yeah. Anyway, so I designed this livery based on, well, her name, Cherry, and that's because it's based on cherry blossom. Apparently she lives in the Sakura realm. Well, Sakura translated to another language. Well, not translated. In another country is also known as the cherry blossom. So that's why I decided to make a design based on the cherry blossom all around the car, and I love it actually. I actually very proud of this work because how nice the petal formation here and there, and also I it may not look like it, but I actually make it somewhat a digital-ish Sakura Sakura petal, cherry blossom petal here, as you can see, because, well, I want to mix between nature and future and technology basically. So in a way it's kind of working, I guess. I really love it. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Of course, I almost forgot. Cherri Saku has her name, obviously, for you to search, and that is this right here. By searching for this, you can find her on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. I'm pretty sure you can find her. If for some reason you cannot find her by using this, I'll have the link in the description down below to all of her social media account, and check her out. Very pleased. I really do hope you guys check her out because I do enjoy watching her from time to time. So anyway, yeah, it's a bunch of cherry blossom petals here and there, and some flower formation as well. And as you can see, this on the hood, I put quite a bunch just to make it less flat, and it's working really well. I do like it actually. Like at first, oh, you know what? I'm just going to make it as best as I could, and probably be done with it. And well, if I now that I think about it, if I don't like it, I will never use it, right? If either I scrap it and make a new one, or just not work at it at all, but I make the best out of it. And I was staring at Sakura flower for hours just to come up with this digital-ish design for the futuristic petal here. And yes, I hope there is still more cherry blossom in the future. They're very beautiful. So anyway, moving to the side, we have more Sakura petal here. Everywhere it looks like it's following the body line quite a bit. That's because I kinda try to replicate how they flow when you go through with your car. Like, they kind of blown away with when you go through with your car, you know, stuff like that. And of course, some of them are actually coming up from the hole sometimes, because there is holes on this thing. As you can see there, it's kind of hard to look, but you can see there. And I also painted the window, well, not painting it, giving it a tint with the yellowish color, because that's her eyes colors. So yeah, quite the detail, I know, but yeah, she likes pink, so obviously I'm making this one for her. So what else? All the we already seen, so not much that we talk about the design really. It's fairly simple so far. I mean, as much as I want to put on the VirtualUniverse logo, it's I'm ashamed of myself, but it's quite complicated. So Yeah, about that. Sorry about that, Alfie. Anyway, so that's about it for the livery, really. And about the car itself, let's talk about the looks because this car never really exists in real life before. I mean, it kind of exists in real life in a different form, but not exactly like this because for a 2058 car, right? This car actually borrows some design language from 1980s. Why I'm saying that? Because when you see this car, there are when I see this car, alright, there are two cars that come up on my mind, and that is Ferrari Testarossa and Lamborghini Countach. Those two has some semblance on this car, and that's why this car is so beautiful, I guess. Minus the additional external body kits, which I don't know if it's coming from the factory, but I kinda doubt it because at that year, I'm pretty sure it's not from the factory. It's probably a third-party body kit like Liberty Walk, Rocket Bunny, stuff like that. So yeah, this game is fairly quirky too because one, there is a light down here, a neon light, and then we have some small lights, and this two right here is a big light, and it's not a pop-up headlight, but you can open it and it stays there. And it has some fans there, a fan on the front, so you know, some air cooling for your engine, I guess. Air intake usually. Yeah, even though the car is a mid-engine, it's still going to take some air from the front, so that's why there is some fan there. I don't know what this is, to be honest, because it's just some metal piece there. For some reason, it stays there. Maybe some heat shields, who knows, but it doesn't serve a purpose other than styling, which is, you know, fine by me. Styling is important. But you have some more side fan on the front fender here. And also, when I say the Ferrari Testarossa, that's because this part right here does looks like coming out from the 80s. Like, it's basically Ferrari Testarossa at this point when you see just this part right. Onto the back, we have some more stuff here, and on the back we have some caution about the exhaust being hot, if it's not obvious enough. Like, what will you try to touch the exhaust system when you're outside, right? And then there is some warning, moving parts, because apparently this spoiler here actually moving, but then you realize there is some bolt part on it, so it's probably a modified car at this point. Now that I think about it, because there is some bolt on part, but there is some separation where it probably was the active arrow is moving. So that's something that you got to keep in mind. You can open this engine bay and you can see the engine inside if you want, but since I'm outside of my house, apparently I cannot open it out in the open like this. So anyway, going to the lower, we can see these two air filter down here, and a quad tow hook that acts like a diffuser for some reason. I mean, it looks pretty nice, but I don't know how good that is. I'm not a car engineer, alright. I'm just know some cars. That's it. Also, the wing mirror is actually pretty interesting idea because it actually has an additional support down there to make sure, you know, it stays on when it got hit something. So it actually making it a bigger target, to be honest. But that's beside the point. So anyway, let's move inside the car and see what this car has to offer. So on the inside, this car actually looks pretty nice. Also, this car has 3 pedals. You just can't see it, but trust me, I'm going to put on some photos, I guess, to show you that there is 3 pedal on it and a sequential shifter, because apparently I feel like this car is actually already modified to begin with. So there is a converted sequential transmission, because it has 3 pedals, but then the shifter doesn't look like your H shifter, like, you know, the going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to reverse with the H pattern, you know, like the good old cars, manual cars. So I guess this is a converted car, and not to mention there is some anti-roll bar, or basically roll cage. I'm sorry, it's a roll cage, not anti-roll bar. Anti-roll bar is an entirely different thing. So there is roll cage that's built in this car, and it's there. I'm not sure if it's a built-in feature, but yeah. And also there is some infotainment system on the center. It's facing more towards the driver, so this car is somewhat driver oriented, but there are some problem with that. So, oh yeah, you can see the time on the passenger side on the top. So this car is pretty far back. To be honest, like the roof is quite far to the front, so I don't think it needs the sun visor. But here is the thing: the speedometer is on the roof. I'm trying to move here. As you can see, there is some mile per hour on top of there. I'm currently moving on 13, 12, 11. You can see it really nicely. Even though on the brighter side like this, you still can see it nicely. And you can see some car information as well on top. Stuff like that. But then, now we stop right now, right? Can you see where is the tachometer is, where you can see the RPM of the car? I mean, it's not really important for normal driving, like every single car instructor for road driving always will always tell you that, oh, if you want to shift while driving like normally, you should just, you know, give it to your feeling, like, oh, is it the time to shift? You shift, basically like that. Thing is though, this is supposedly a modern supercar. And you know what they do with the modern supercar other than storing it? Some people will try to bring it to the track day, to a track and do a track day, just pushing the car to the limit, racing it on the track, and then go back with the car in one piece. Hopefully, because sometimes they crash, which is really unfortunate to be honest. But that's just how racing goes. So can you see where is the tachometer is? Well, it's not on the center right on my front because there is nothing there. It's not on the center console because that's the car informations. It's beside the tachometer. So where is it then? I'm going to flick this steering wheel to the left. Did you see that ribbon cable that is installed? This is an aftermarket piece, obviously. Yes, that's right. It's on the left, really far down there. And that is one of my biggest gripes about this car, to be honest. Like, as a racer, right? Like, you would put it on the middle where you can see it immediately without having to move your head too much. I mean, I still can sneak peek to it, but it's really far from looking at the road. I mean, there is a reason why F1 car has all of their information on the screen on their steering wheel. That's just so because they can check on the engine without removing their eyes from the road, which is really important. And hell, even the rally car, which is based on what is it? Based on road going car usually, like the Group A car, stuff like that. They still put it on the middle because that's just how they do it. Like almost every single car that I know always have the RPM at least on the front of the driver directly, so they still can face forward to see what's in front of them when they're driving straight forward. And there is a reason why they do that, because they don't want to remove the eye just a millisecond from the road, especially at a high speed above 60 miles. Well, 60 miles is fairly slow in my opinion. Like 120 miles. or just 150 kilometers, which is already fairly fast by my standard, really. You don't want to move your eyes from the road. This car's biggest flaw is that I do wish they just bolted on the center there in the front. There is a really big flat placement for it, but they didn't do it. So yeah, you know, do what you want, car designer, really. But one thing for sure, drivability wise as a racer, it's not the best. I'm just going to say that because you want to know when you shift your car, you know. Yeah, as you can see, it's right on the left there. I mean, if you don't believe me, I'm going to rev it out. As you can see, the bar is on right there. It's moving. It's living there. So, yeah. It's right there, far on the left, and it's an aftermarket part. I don't know what the owner of this car doing, to be honest, but that is a terrible idea. I mean, it looks cool, I guess, but that's a terrible idea, in my opinion. I don't know whatever V is doing there, but oh well. So anyway, let's go on a race. So the first up, we're going to do it on the drag race here. Just on this side. It's pretty close. Oh, by the way, the car engine sounds really nice. I really love it. So yeah, at least there is something better to look at other than the tachometer at this point, huh? But yeah, let's go for a solo run on the Greendale Aerodrome drag strip. Well, it's a fairly short one, but we're going to see how fast this car accelerates, which is not bad actually. So obviously we're going to find another modern sports car, which is arguably really old compared to this car. But let's see how much better this is. I already tuned this car a little bit more because the stock tune, well, stock, because it's not really stock in my opinion. Looking at all the stuff that's going on with the car, the first gear, oh my god, it's so bad when you first get this car. Like, it's extremely short. Like, it was built so you go to this setting and then turn on the traction control. Also, basically automatic shifting, which is not exactly how the car looks like because it's a manual with sequential shifter conversion on it. So that's one thing. So you know, I have to tune it, make it a bit longer here. As you can see, the gearing on the first gear is a lot shorter than that before. Like, this is already 2 times longer than the original gearing, so you got to make sure it just work, hopefully. So anyway, that's about it for that, and this car actually has a pretty good handling, by the way, which I'll show you on the second race later. So let's just start this and just launch this car. Hopefully it works. Okay, that's quite an early shift. I want to be around 6,500 RPM. I mean, on arcade view like this, it should be nicer to look at, and yeah, as you can see, the others is still a lot faster. Usually, I will protest if AI cars is faster, but the thing is, I can feel this car acceleration is not that fast. I can feel it, so I'm not going to protest that. I got beaten just by 100th of a second, 10th or 100th of a second. I mean, almost around there, pretty close, but it's just not going to be it's not going to happen. So, you know, acceleration wise, at the beginning it's pretty good because, relatively speaking, the first gear is really short, but the rest of the gear, because I don't upgrade the camshaft, it's not that fast. Alright then. So what this car is good about? Well, I'm going to show you after this with the second race. on to our second and first proper race. We're on the Greendale Club circuit, which is one of the most handling oriented track that I could think of. Even though there is a good amount of straight line, your biggest strength around this track is actually on the corner. And this car actually has a pretty good cornering, which I will show you right now. So here we go, second race. Much of Lambos here. And P1. I give you some space, please. But as you can see, since this is straight line, it won't do well. That's as much as I expected, to be honest. And this Gallardo just decided to slow down in front of me like that. A bit of a cut there. It's fine. Completely legal, because this is not an official racetrack. And some bumps here and there against another expensive supercar. That's gonna be a problem. It only costs 2 million. You know? Yeah, it's gonna be a problem, isn't it? Ow. Oh yeah, I cannot particularly nice right now, but really need to remove that nervousness right now. Right, let's try to slipstream to get some speed, but it's not going to happen, is it? Alright, shifting a bit earlier. Alright, this Audi is a bit slow. It's really scruffy right now, but considering I make it work, I guess that's a good overtake. I mean, some scruffiness here and there that's not on purpose is fine on racing. That's just what you do, really. There is some tolerable scraping here and there, and then there is a punt, which is not tolerable by any racing, to be honest, unless you're playing Burnout. Forza, actually, because Forza is being known for that, bumping and crashing back then. But yeah, we're going to be fine. You got to brake quite early. It's deceivingly really quick, but it's not. You got to brake early around that corner. Try to make sure you don't make a mistake. Just try to defend if they try to attack your corner. And we should be fine. And this car is actually a bit slidey, but it's still controllable. I do like it. Like, there is some fun on this car, which is really fun to drive, obviously, for me. Not sure for the intended owner, but the slidiness is really fun for me. Because it's really controllable, like, it's fairly easy to control this car. And yeah, that's our first podium of today. That's why this car is so good around the corner. The car that is good around the corner is always on top of my list. I love them. Though I still want some more speed, because, you know, the perfect car is always about, it has a lot of speed and it's also corner really nicely. So I would give this car a pass, actually, because if you found a corner, this car would do the job really well. So of course you have to push the brake, because the car won't help you stop if you keep pressing throttle, you know? I'm just saying. Just a good tips about trying to get into a corner and try to stop. Because some people doesn't really think about that sometimes. Yeah, it happens, especially in games. Anyway, moving on to the next race. Oh yes, there's the podium right there. Look, the other two cars look so cool, and then here we are with the most awesome paint job. I mean, I do love it. Like, it's just so nice to look at. Alright, for our final race, we're on Lakehurst Forest Sprint. And there is some speed that really needed around this particular route, but there is some corner as well, so we'll see how this can perform. And yeah, I hope this car performs really well, so we'll see how this works, because this is the favorite kind of race that I like. Racing games, a sprint race like this, always fun. I'm just squeezing it around the outside there. Alright, that's a bit of a late turn there. That's not good. Yeah, some crash just ran down. Yikes. But yeah, as you can see, it's not exactly the fastest, but for some reason that Ferrari just decided to stop a little bit there, which is really nice for me. But yeah, we still have to keep up with the others on the front. There is a lot of corner right now, so we can try to sneak around. Oh my god, it goes to the same path to my direction right now. It's defending really nicely. There is some scruffiness around that overtake, but I'll take it. Thank you very much. Right. This one is quite tricky because I have to go a bit slower here. If not, I will go wide and potentially crash really badly. And yes, as you can see, I can brake quite late compared to the other car. That's just how nice this car to drive. Like, I'm kind of surprised for the looks of the car. Like, you would think this car would handle terribly, but no. It actually handles really nicely. Aside from the first gear, I don't have any complaint. I mean, well, there's some slides here and there, which people would try to complain about it, but... But yeah, the only downside of this car is the long gearing. It needs to be shifted quite earlier sometimes. So you got to be thinking about keeping it on the power band, which is the peak of the car power, basically, to, you know, provide you some speed. And also, some tips for you to driving this kind of car is to keep your momentum around the corner, which is quite hard, but with a good handling car, usually it's so much easier to do. Oh man, that is a bit too tight. Yeah, that was terrible cornering from me. But driving this car is really good. Like, it handles really nicely. I love it. I love it so much. The paint job is only making things a lot better to drive. Like, it will get attention. I promise you will get a lot of attention by using this paint job. Please download. Please download it. Oh yeah, there's 7th gear. Right. Yeah, this car has 7-speed manual. Sequential. Oh, come on, it's so close! Oh no! Oh man, that was a disaster. Of course there's a disaster. No. I don't want to be last. Unless I finish in style. Unless I finish in style. Okay? Unless I finish in style. Oh, no. I choke at the very last moment. I choke at the very last moment. Of course. Of course that happens. I don't even intended to do that. I choke at the very last moment. I can't believe that. I was trying to overtake the other guy, but I'm pushing it a bit too much. I'm pushing my luck a little too much there, aren't I? Of course, I choked really badly on that one. Oh my god, it's so embarrassing. I really hope she doesn't watch until the end. So anyway, I still stand by my statement that this car is good. It's just my driving is troublesome sometimes. That was really embarrassing. Why did that have to happen? Good thing this car is made out of titanium instead of carbon fiber, apparently. It doesn't receive a single damage right now. But anyway, that is it for the car. I do enjoy the car. It's really nice to drive. Like, it's surprisingly really good handling. I don't do much weight reduction on this thing. In fact, I think I don't even do anything about the weight reduction. and it handles really good. Well, probably thanks to the chunky tire on the rear there, which is really helpful. It still want to let the rear slides, but it's still controllable, so you should be fine. So yeah, that is it. That is the Quadra Turbo R V-tec. A really nice handling car. I really love it. Like seriously, this car is just awesome to drive. Looks pretty cool too, because it's very 80s in terms of looks, and I do love it. Like all the cars is just beautiful, right? And also, before I end this, yeah, I will mention it again. This is for obviously our dear Cherri from VirtualUniverse, and please do check her channels, Facebook page, and Twitter out for more entertainment. I do enjoy her content. I really love watching her. And apparently some people just love her screaming. I'm just going to say it there. Yeah, because I don't think she will watch until the end. Who knows? But yeah, some people just enjoy her scream as well. But yeah, she's also pretty good at voice acting, by the way. I've heard some of her voice acting, and oh boy, it's so good. I can't even speak when she pulled it out of nowhere when we were chatting. It's really surprising. Yeah, I do love her. And yeah, I guess that's why I'm kind of nervous about this whole situation. Oh well, you know what? Videos and just go back to your normal activity. I'm just someone else that is not more famous now. Come on, I cannot act right today. What the hell? Alright everyone, Shikai Hokan here, reporting for the end of the world. I mean, the video. Hope you guys enjoyed today's content. If you like it, feel free to activate that like button. If you want to see more of my content, you can put a mark on my head with that subscribe button. And lastly, any kind of support and feedback would be really appreciated. So, thanks for watching, and remember, I'm keeping my eyes on you. Keep on living, buddy.